Hello, I'm Jacob and this is the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite current EDC knives, the Tactical Pterodactyl Medium Camper. You may remember a little bit ago I did a video on some of my favorite custom makers and Tactical Pterodactyl was on that list. This little knife here is 6 inches overall, made out of 52-100. That's a high carbon steel, ball bearing steel. Hardened to 60 to 61 HRC, making this one of the hardest knives that I own. Now, before we get too far into this, I want to mention the first 2 links in the description box below. The first one will be Tactical Pterodactyl's website. The second one will be Tactical Pterodactyl's Instagram. So if you dig the knife, which I'm pretty sure you will, do yourself a favor, check those out. You can get onto his subscription list and see when he drops knives, or you can get a hold of him and order a custom of your own. Below that will be my Instagram account, a link to that in the description box below, and then ways that you can support this channel through my website, beachandtactical.com, where I hand make tactical and practical gear, my Amazon store, where I put up links to gear that I have used and tested and own and stand behind. And finally, my Patreon, where you can support the channel directly, have an impact on how this channel is ran, and have a first line contact to me directly. All right, so the blade. Like I said, everyday carry knife. Overall length is 6 inches. Blade is 2 1/4 inches. And when you look at this knife, when some people look at this knife, the first thing that they think of is a trendy EDC knife. It looks tanky, so people think that the edge geometry is going to be thick, and it's viewed as being kind of more, some people have viewed it more as being jewelry than a functional tool. Some people went very far out of their way to explain that to me. It is not. The edge geometry on this knife is wonderful. This thing is a razor. It's an eighth of an inch thick, super thin edge, slices wonderfully. I've been using this for my everyday carry, not for 2 months, but probably for over a month. I love it. Holds an edge great, brings it right back quickly on the strop. And so usually on this channel I talk about big chopping knives, and I have a lot of stuff to talk about. And how well it chops and batons, holds an edge, all of that other stuff. It's a little more complicated in the woods. Everyday carry, I don't get as much footage and it's not as complicated. You'll see here I use it for random things like plumbing or who knows what. I use this knife. I couldn't tell you what I use this knife for every single day. What I can tell you is I use it every single day, and I don't always use it easy. So I was doing some plumbing here, and as I was cutting through this duct tape, I hit one of the pipe holders there, and I rolled this edge pretty good, hitting that metal, which was foolish of me, but my EDC knives, I take care of them, but they can get beat up a little bit. So yes, rolled the edge. What does that mean for you? The edge, even at 60 to 61 HRC, rolled instead of chipping. That's what you want to see. I've pretty much been able to bring this edge back to life perfectly if I was better at sharpening, like say Rodney Fontaine at Fontaine Sharpening, or the manufacturer himself, send it back to Frankie. He could have touched this up probably with no metal loss in a second. I just used a stone real quick, threw it back on the strop, lost a tiny bit of metal, but not bad. I'm very impressed. Love this knife, guys. It is so dang sharp. It's so easy to keep so dang sharp because the edge is so thin. So that's EDC tasks, okay? Specifically, what I want to talk about next between EDC and bushcraft tasks is this jimping here. A lot of people hate it. I love it for an EDC knife. Now, if I were to buy this as a bushcraft specific knife, I'd probably either have the edges of the jimping toned down a little bit or get rid of it altogether. which is one of the benefits of going with a custom maker. If you want to get this knife with no jimping or different color scales or whatever else, that can be done. As it stands, I've used this knife for a bit of bushcraft stuff. I've struck ferro rods and made feather sticks and other stuff like that. It works phenomenally. If I'm trying to make a pretty feather stick and I'm spending a good bit of time on it, the jimping can get a little bit aggressive, but again, it's not bad. And being that this, for me, is not primarily a bushcraft knife, but an EDC knife that can certainly be used for bushcraft, I would, if I had the choice before I ordered this knife, I would keep the jimping. I wouldn't change anything. I love it for basically everything that I use it for. So, and there you go, guys. I don't have a whole lot more to say. Except that I just really love this knife. I did use it for food prep as well. Again, not ideal, but I think what's different about an EDC knife than the knives that I usually review is that it gets used for everything. So versatility is so key. And this knife from Tactical Pterodactyl is absolutely versatile. So, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please check out Tactical Pterodactyl. You know, he's one of the makers that I really love, and I really love small knife makers. You know, it's really hard to make knives and make a living making knives. You know, that's the dream for a lot of people, and I like to help the people who deserve it to realize that dream. Now, current MSRP on this knife is about $150, and 5200 you can get it in super steel for about just over 200. And real quick, before I go, let me just say, it sounds like a ton of money for some people, but myself included. But if you want to get a custom knife, let's say you're looking at your first custom knife. Most people want to get the giant chopper, myself included. I advise against it. I would advise, if you're getting your first custom knife, to get a small knife that you can carry every single day, because you will get more value out of every dollar out of a knife that you carry every day and you really take pride in than you would in a big chopper that you take out once a month, once every 6 months, once a year, maybe never. All right. To me, the value in a wonderful working custom blade like this is in its use. If you're a collector, that's fine too, but if you're a collector, it's easier to collect a bunch of small knives than it is a bunch of big knives. So, yeah, guys, I love it. I'm a fan. I look forward to talking to you in the comments section below, and hope that you have a blessed day.